And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roll. My name is Nathaniel. I'm the host here at the channel, and we are here with our final Secrets of Strixhaven Magic Card Limited Set Review video. Wow, that's a lot of words, but that's kind of the way to describe it. We've been loving this. This set has looked absolutely phenomenal. I am so excited to get to play it. So I will say that's been a huge pleasant surprise compared to the way that Magic has kind of been in the last months for us. Check out our video about that at some point if it's out. It might not be when you're seeing this, but it also might be, so go check it out. That being said, we're on our last one. We only have the green cards left to cover. So before we jump into those, we'll give a quick, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Especially subscribe means the most to the channel. Really help us out here. We are on our way to 500, and you could be the person to help us get there. Let's jump into these cards. So I'm going to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. And again, it is from a limited perspective. Here we go. Aberrant Mana Worm. 3 and a green, 2/5. Okay, fine. Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the amount of mana. Oh, amount of mana spent to cast this spell. So it's going to regularly be bigger than a 2/5. I don't hate that. 4 out of 10. I don't love it enough to give it more than that, but I'm going to say 4 out of 10. Additive Evolution. 3 and 2 green enchantment. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put 3, so you get a 3/3 on it. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It gains vigilance until end of turn. I do like that this comes in 5 mana, make a 3/3. If you do it before combat, you'll get that combat trigger. So really, it's make a 4/4 and, it's make a 4/4 and give something vigilance, or even make a 3/3, buff something else and give it vigilance. That's pretty worth it for 5 mana to then roll over and do other effects, so I will give this a 4 out of 10. It's not like game-breaking, so I'm not going to give it a 5. Well, 5 is not game-breaking, but you get the gist. It's not like better than what I would say is on par, but it's worth playing at 5 mana. Ambitious Augmenter. 1 green, Turtle Wizard. This dude looks pretty neat. 1/1 with increment, so he's obviously going to get bigger. When it dies, if it had 1 or more counters on it, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, then put this creature's counters on that token. Love this. 1/1 that gets bigger. Then, if and when it dies, you then make another 0/0 that just becomes it, but 1 less power and toughness. Very strong card. Like this a lot as a 1-drop. This is probably a 7 or an 8 at a 1-drop. This is extremely powerful. Borog Barrage. 1 and a green instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If you've cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn, then it deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. So this is a 2 mana buff if you've cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn. Oh, okay. No. It's a 2 mana punch that if you've cast another sorcery spell, this instant or sorcery, it happens to buff the creature. Okay, that's way better. I was like, so this barely does anything unless you've cast 2? No. It buffs if you've cast 2, then it deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature opponent control. So 2 mana punch, premium removal. We love it. In green, it's kind of what you're going to see, so 5 out of 10. Maybe a 4. Somewhere in a 4 or a 5. Chelonian Tackle. 2 and a green, sorcery. Target creature you control gets +0/+10 until end of turn. Then it fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Okay, so this is very likely to keep your creature around, but it doesn't do any buffing on the power side, and I don't love that. So it's between a 3 and a 4 for me. I might even give this a 3. It's a little pricey as well. So I might give this a 3. I do like that it keeps your creature around, but you could also just do a punch effect, and they don't fight. So I'm going to give it a 3. Comforting Counsel. 1 and a green enchantment. Whenever you gain life, put a growth counter on this enchantment. So this is definitely for green-black. As long as there are 5 or more growth counters on this enchantment, creatures you control get +3/+3. Okay. I don't like enchantments that hit the board and do nothing. So this definitely gets a dock for that. If you get this to 5 growth counters, it obviously is very strong. It's basically a permanent, oh my goodness, what's the card called? Where it gets +3/+3 and gains triple. All creatures get +3/+3 and gains triple. No, all creatures. Overrun? Overrun. It's basically a constant overrun, although it doesn't have the trample part of it. So it's just, a really nice buff effect. That being said, you got to gain life 5 times for this to be useful. So it gets a dock from me in that sense. I do think it's a really strong effect. It's just also likely to be a 2 mana do nothing. I prefer a 2 mana do nothing over like a 5 mana do nothing. But it's risky. I'm going to give it about a 4 to a 5 out of 10 because of that risk. Efflorescence. 2 and a green, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. If you gain life this turn, that creature also gains trample and indestructible. I mean, that's pretty strong. I like 3 mana, 2 counters, and then more. Obviously, if you get this for the infusion, it's pretty strong, but I don't think this is a crazy card. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Here we go. Emeritus of Abundance. 2/3 Elf Druid, 3/4, already worth it. Vigilance, enters prepared. Whenever it attacks, if you control 8 or more lands, it becomes prepared. So you're probably not getting this back. Oh, wait, no, you might. Look at this. Regrowth. 1 and a green, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That could be useful, so. Yeah, this is a very strong card. 3 mana, 3/4 Vigilance that has Regrowth on it, and then might re-prepare and let you cast Regrowth more. Sure. Very strong. I don't know if it's like game-breakingly broken, but it seems to be at least between like a 7 and an 8 to me. So really strong card. Happy to pull that as your mythic for sure. Emil Vastlands Roamer. 2 and a green, Elf Druid, 3/3. Fine. Creatures you control with +1/+1 counters on them have trample. Very synergistic. 5 mana, 4 and a green, tap him. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X counters on it, where X is the number of differently named lands you control. Probably not getting 2 or 3. Probably only getting 2 or 3 out of that. So that's not great. I do like that he makes your other creatures have trample. And he is, again, right on par for base. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. It would be a 5 if I thought this was a more powerful ability. But it's probably a 4. Environmental Scientist. 1 and a green, 2/2. When it enters, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. This is like a mythic uncommon. This is insane. Okay, 2 mana, 2/2 is already on par solid. And then this goes and draws you the lands that you need and puts it into your hand. Doesn't even put it on top, puts it into your hand. So it's 2 mana, 2/2, draw whatever land you need. Very powerful. Very powerful. This is at least a 6 out of 10 on an uncommon. Extremely powerful. Follow the Lumerets. 1 and a green. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it into your hand. If you gained life this turn, you may instead reveal 2 creatures. Okay, hold on. I need to read this again. 2 mana, look at the top 4. You may reveal a creature or land, put it into your hand. Okay, fine. If you gained life, you may instead reveal 2 creatures and or lands and put them into your hand. Then you put the rest on the bottom. Okay, so it's 2 mana, get 1 of the top 4, or 2 mana, get 2 of the top 4 if you've gained life. This seems pretty solid. 4 out of 10. I like card draw. This lets you draw from multiple cards, and that is back on the bottom of your library, but still, sure. Might even be a 5 out of 10. Here we are. Germination Practicum. This is our lesson. 3 and 2 green. Put 2 +1/+1 counters. Oh, okay. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. This is an interesting one. If you only have 1 or 2 creatures, this actually isn't insane. Now, you're obviously doing this every single turn, so it's hard to come back from if they do have multiple creatures. But it is pretty bad if you only have about 1 creature. Like, it's not crazy. So it's not as broken to me as, say, like, was it the red one that lets you just be casting things off your library every single turn and guarantees you hit it by exiling stuff? So yes, for 5 mana, I definitely think this is still powerful, but I might say this is between an 8 and a 9 rather than a 9 and a 10. It is obviously still stupid powerful, and it's, the mythic lesson. But there's a reason that this cost is a little bit lower. Whoa, why is this one so cheap? Look at the art on that. It's beautiful. The art in this set is just incredible. All right, Glorious Decay. 1 and a green, instant. Destroy target artifact. Deal 4 damage to target creature with flying, or exile target card from a graveyard and draw a card. I mean, fine. I don't know if you main deck this, but it's fine. Obviously, it could be useful with the flying part of it, but more often than not, you probably don't want this card. It's between a 3 and a 4, but I'll give it a 3 for the sake of diversification. 3 and a green, Giraffe. Oh, Giraffe. 3 and a green, 4 mana, 3/4 with reach. It better have reach. It's a giraffe. Increment. I don't know how well you're incrementing on this creature. You'd have to cast a 4 mana spell. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. I mean, you'll probably manage to cast a 4 mana spell and make this a 4/5. But I just think there's better things in your 4 mana spot, Maybe it should be a 4 out of 10. Infirmary Healer. 1 and a green, Cat Cleric, 2/3. Already great. 2 mana, 2/3. Yeah. That enters prepared? Yeah. And then Stream of Life. Target player gains X life. This is a great way to gain life if you need it. Obviously, you can only do it one time. It is a mana sink in the late game. Like, oh, I have nothing to do. I guess I'll do this now for X equals 7 and gain 7 life. But I like 2 mana, 2/3 that does more stuff. Yeah. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. 2 mana, 2/3 with some upside. Lumaret's Favor. 1 and a green instant. Infusion. When you cast a spell, copy it. If you gained life this turn, you may choose new targets for the copy. Target creature gets +2/+4. Okay. Instant +2/+4 is pretty strong. Instant 2 creatures get +2/+4 is very strong. And it doesn't even say you choose a different creature, so this could just be +4/+8. I think this is a pretty solid combat trick. I'm going to let it go up to a 4 out of 10. I don't love combat tricks, but this one does seem very capable. Mindful Biomancer. 1 and a green Dryad Druid, so 2 mana, 2/2, enters, gain a life. Could be useful. 2 and a green, gets +2/+2 until end of turn. 4 out of 10. I mean, we have the exact body, right? This is on par, 2 mana, 2/2. With a few upsides, but not like crazy upsides. 1 and a green Death Touch Salamander, 1/2. So 2 mana, 1/2 with Death Touch that can tap to add a green. Ramp is what you want to do. Name of the game in green. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10 just for being a mana dork. It is a relatively expensive mana dork, but a mana dork nonetheless. Oracle's Restoration. 1 green sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You draw a card and gain 1 life. Again, I'm not a huge fan of combat tricks, and this one's not really even a combat trick because it happens at sorcery speed, but I think it does enough that I can give it a 4 out of 10, right? +1/+1, draw a card, and gain 1 life. Really synergizes well with what green wants to do. Pest Brood Sloth. 3 and a green, plant sloth, 4/4, so we're on par with reach. When it dies, create 2 1/1s. Absolutely. This is 4 mana, 6 power and toughness, and you're gaining life from those 1/1s. Very solid card, 5 out of 10. Bordering on 6. This is a very, very solid 4-drop. So we said earlier, don't know if it deserves your 4-drop slot. This is what you want in that 4-drop slot. So, Planar Engineering. 3 and a green sorcery. Sack 2 lands. Search your library for 4 lands. Put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. This is actually pretty solid. Okay, this is a 4 mana, ramp 2. And it gets some of your lands out of your library. Because at a certain point, you don't want to be drawing all 17 lands that you put in there. You just have 17 lands in there so that you have them consistently. So I actually don't mind this at all. Sack 2 lands. If you happen to have graveyard synergies, those are cards that you can get out of the graveyard. Like, this is really solid card. It's at least a 5 out of 10. It might be 6. 4 mana, ramp 2. Maybe. It doesn't seem broken. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It does let you color fix, though. Shopkeeper's Bane. 2 and a green. Creature Badger Pest. Trample, whenever this... Now, obviously, this is, like, crazy good in... This is really good in certain decks, right? Because you can run this and go get... As long as you have green, you can go get 4 colors, right? Obviously, you have to go get basics, but you can still go get 4 colors worth of basics. Kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Shopkeeper's Bane. 2 and a green, Badger Pest, Trample. Whenever this creature attacks, you gain 2 life. So 3 mana, 4/2, Trample. That's fine. That's on par. And then whenever this creature attacks, you gain 2 life. You're probably only getting that once, but hey, it's life gain, 4 out of 10. Slumbering Trudge. X and a green, plant beast, 6/6. This creature enters with a number of stun counters on it equal to 3 minus X. If it enters with a stun counter on it, tap it. Okay. So if you pay 4 mana for... You can pay 4 mana for a 6/6. Or you can pay less than 4 mana and get a 6/6 with some stuns on it. So you could play this on turn 1, and it just kind of sits there as something terrifying to come down the line. Sits there as something that unlocks in 3 turns, but you only ended up spending 1 mana on it. I like the upside of this card a lot if you happen to do that. And then later, you just cast it as a 4 mana 6/6. Also a huge upside. 7 out of 10. I love this card. Plant Beast. Go with him. Snarl Song. What a name. 5 and a green, sorcery, converge, create 2 0/0 green and blue fractal creature tokens, putting X +1/+1 counters on them, and you gain X life, where X is the number of colors of mana. So this is probably 6 mana, create 2. You want this to be 6 mana, create 2 3/3s, and gain 3 life, which is good, or at least like okay, but it also could be 2, so I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. I don't love this card. Obviously, if you're able to cast it with 5 colors, this goes insane. You get 10/10 and gain 5 life, but yeah. You can't just look at the ceilings, guys. You can't just look at the ceilings. 1 mana, 1/1 bear wizard. He's kind of adorable. This creature enters prepared. Studious first year. Oh, studious first year. That's cute. And it's got rampant growth on him, right? So 1 mana, 1/1 with a rampant growth for the next turn, right? Like 1 mana, play this guy as 1/1, rampant growth on turn 2. You didn't lose a card. Like that's another thing you have to consider is that these things that enter prepared, you're not losing a card to cast their sorcery next turn, right? So it's pretty powerful. I like this guy a lot. I think this is a 5 out of 10 on a common. Let's go. Studious first year. He's the new Lamwar Elves, right? Tenured Concoctor. 4 and a green. Troll Druid 4/5. The Vigilance kind of makes it on par, but it's not quite. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card, so it's not getting targeted. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you gain life this turn. I want to say 3 out of 10 because you're not really drawing the card, but it's right on that borderline. It's right on that borderline. Thornfist Striker. 2 and a green, 3/3. Fine. Ward 1. And it has Infusion. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have Trample as long as you've gained life this turn. I love that it buffs all your creatures and gives them all Trample. And it's on a body that's already big enough with Ward 1. 5 out of 10. I think that's a strong enough effect to bump it up to 5. Topiary Lecturer. 2 and a green. 1/2. Not great there. 3 mana, 1/2 with Increment. Tap to add an amount of green equal to this creature's power, though, is pretty strong. Obviously, you got to remember the turn it comes out, you're not able to do that. So this is a 3 mana, 1/2 the turn it comes out. Next turn, if you cast a spell and buff it up to a 2/3, then you can tap it for 2 mana, which I do think is pretty strong. So I'm hesitant. The floor for this is pretty low, but the ceiling is also pretty high. The ceiling is quite high because in 2 or 3 spells, this thing is... in 2 spells, this thing is tapping you for 3 mana. It's pretty crazy. As an uncommon, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's at least a 4, even with the downside of the floor. I'm going to say at least a 4, probably a 5. It's probably a 5. Vastlands Scavenger. I'm telling you guys, these bears are adorable. 1 and 2 green, 4/4. Yeah, give me a 3 mana 4/4 with Death Touch all day. And it enters prepared. You can bind to life 4 and a green instant, mill 7 cards, then put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Obviously 5 mana is pretty expensive for that, but you might already have something you like in your graveyard. You're going to have other synergies in your graveyard. I like this. 3 mana 4/4 with Death Touch is already good enough. Then the extra instant speed bind to life. Not to mention that's an instant speed, so you can kind of use that as basically like a combat trick. Love it, love it, love it. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10, maybe even 8. That's just a lot of value, but we'll go 7. Wild Growth Archaic. This is 2 green or 2 generic for each of them. Avatar, Trample, Reach, Converge. It's a 0/0. Okay, so it's going to be a 2/2 or a 3/3 typically. Whenever you cast a creature spell, that creature enters with X additional +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast it. That is pretty strong because at least all of your creature spells are probably being buffed by +2/+2. That's pretty powerful, even if this thing enters as like a 2/2 that then does that. I think that's pretty strong. So I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Wild Hypothesis. X and a green, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it, and then you surveil 2. So this is make a 1 under par blue-green fractal creature token, then surveil 2. There might be use for that, but I just think based on what I'm seeing, this is probably a 3 out of 10. And last but certainly not least, we have Zamone's Experiment. 3 and a green, look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal up to 2 creature and or land cards from among them, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Put all land cards revealed this way onto the battlefield tapped, and put all creature cards revealed this way into your hand. Oh, okay, so it's like a 4 mana ramp 2 and or get creatures you need. I love the versatility of that. 5 out of 10, maybe even a 6 out of 10. This is really strong card draw. Yeah, it's really strong card draw. It's a 5 out of 10 for sure. 5 out of 10 for sure. And that is all the green cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is actually, sorry, that's all the cards. Let's go and see if there's any non-basic lands because I went through all of the multicolored and I noticed that there was that card, I think it was in red, that targeted non-basic lands. And I got to see if there are even non-basic lands that you can target in here. I forgot how many I forgot how many multicolored cards there were. A lot, by the way. There's our colorless. And boom, we're into plains, right? So that kind of tells me that there's not, right? Swamp, mountain. I mean, let's see. I don't think they would be after the basics, though, would they? Oh, yeah, they are. So let's get into these. I should have covered these before, but I didn't know that they were there. So, Forum of Amity. Taps for the white or black, and then 2 white black taps surveil. I mean, it's fine. Obviously, these are hard to rate, but probably 4 out of 10 if you're in the colors. This land enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Okay, so we're getting I don't know the name of these, but we're getting these ones again, where it enters tapped unless you control just 2 or more other lands. So you don't want them early on, but later on it's a nice color fixer and comes in pretty late. Obviously not as good as a shock land, but I mean, looking over here, the price of these is pretty high, so I'm glad we're getting a reprint on these. Obviously, good card, but in your rare slot. I mean, run it if you're in those colors for sure, because worst case scenario, it's a tap land, and best case scenario, it comes in just untapped like an OG dual land. So pretty strong. I'm going to give this, again, 4 out of 10 in the right colors. Pretty strong, probably 5 or 6. 5 or 6. Where's the surveil one? There it is. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. 5 or 6. And 5 or 6. 4 out of 10. Great. I assume that... Oh, no, we have a few more. Great Hall of Biblioplex. Tapped out of colorless. Pay 1 life. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend it only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. Fine. 5 mana. If it's not a creature, it becomes a 2/4 wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+0. I mean, fine. But as your rare slot, I don't love this. So it's probably like a 5 out of 10. Petrified Hamlet. When this land enters, choose a land card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Lands with the chosen name have tap add a colorless, and then this adds a colorless. Oh my gosh, they made a land that just like kills another land. I love that in flavor. In practicality, this just makes your hand hard to play, so I'd say it's probably a 2 out of 10 in terms of actually playing it. Sky Coach Waypoint. Tapped out a colorless, pay 3, tap, target creature becomes prepared. I mean, giving away to get creatures prepared again is honestly not bad. I think this could have some use, so I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Terramorphic Expanse is basically just another Evolving Wilds. So, you know what? We're getting more art for Terramorphic Expanse. Sure. Yay! And that's all of them. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching the entirety of the set review. I am so stoked for this set. If I had to give this set a rating just on my excitement, it's probably like a 7 out of 10 or higher. So that's really good. I mean, I gotta say, I have not been feeling that way about Magic. I don't even know if Lorwyn got me that excited. I think I might be more excited for this than I was going over the Lorwyn cards, which is crazy because Lorwyn seems like the set I would like more, but hey, who knows? I really like the designs of these cards. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Did I score the cards right? Did I score them horribly wrong? I'm obviously relatively new to Magic. I've been playing for like 2 years and a bit. So, it's my thoughts, my opinions. I want to know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And of course, if you want to support the channel in the best way possible, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join the Roll Circle family. All 409 people that are subscribed to us are super great and awesome. And we love and appreciate each and every one of you. You could be the next person to join the Roll Circle family. We'd love to have you. And yeah. All right, that's it for this video. That's it for all of the Secrets of Strixhaven set review. If you're watching this on Friday and you're going to pre-release, good luck. We wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we do pretty good in ours. And that is that. We will see you in whatever video comes next. But until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.